If you're thinking about buying the new DJI Ronin 4D or even the Sony A7 IV, then you want to consider some of the things I'm going to mention in this video. Now, without sounding like your mother, the real question here is, do you actually need it? My job as a mentor and the purpose behind this channel is to provide solid advice that is actually going to have a positive impact on people's businesses and therefore their bank balances too. And one of the biggest and most difficult problems that I have to help people with through my mentoring and my online coaching business is this. I've just bought the latest camera, but I've got no work to help pay for it. And this is a huge problem that a lot of very talented and creative people like yourself fall into. And generally the reason for it is simple. It's this. It's imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is when an individual doubts their talents, skills, or accomplishments, despite the fact that the evidence supports that they are capable of doing that particular task or job. Let me give you a really common example for a lot of filmmakers and videographers out there, and that's generally the case that they might want to do bigger, better quality work, and they might be thinking that they will only get booked if they have the latest tech, the highest quality cameras. And I'm not giving it a huge bash in here. I'm going to go through and explain why there are some perks to that as well. But I just wanted to give you some considerations, because a lot of people doubt their ability to achieve a good job with the equipment they have in hand, and therefore fall into this trap of buying equipment without actually securing that next stage of work. For us in our business, growing our video production company over the last few years, from a desk in my parents' living room into a full studio with a team of people working for brands that are global and worldwide, we've always been ahead of that curve. So we've always waited until we've had the job come in, we've secured the budget, so we know that we have this amount of money coming in. Then we've used that money to invest in the latest equipment. So we've never been out of pocket, we've never had to take out any loans or been in any debt. But unfortunately, a lot of people that I see do it the other way round. They actually doubt themselves so much, they go out and they take out a loan or they put it onto a credit card and they buy the latest equipment without actually having secured any work. And what happens is they still produce the same level or same quality of work because perhaps they need to develop their skills in other areas. Particularly, a lot of creatives are very bad at the business side of filmmaking, which is something we're trying to teach a lot of on this channel. And that's actually the fundamentals of why you're not getting the job. Is it because you let yourself down in the meeting without realizing it? Is it because your sales strategy is completely wrong? We can all be too focused sometimes about producing the best quality work and not focused enough on where the regular money is coming from, where the business and the consistent cash flow is going to be coming from too. Now, I'm sure at some point in time we have all experienced imposter syndrome. I certainly know I have. For instance, I have a shoot coming up in a couple of weeks' time. I'm traveling up to Scotland for a major company, and they've asked me to take some photos. Absolutely fine. I've taken loads of photos at various locations within that industry before. However, for the last year or so, I've had Nathan, my colleague, take the lead on photos, and he's the one been doing the shoots. So I've naturally had this imposter syndrome. Can I do a good enough job? Perhaps I need the best camera. Maybe I need to upgrade the camera I'm currently using so that I've got a better quality image. So if I do take a bad photo, I can manipulate it more. And really, all of this is just completely nonsense, and it's flooding my head and making me doubt myself, despite the fact I've worked for this particular brand before. They've loved our work and they've booked us and they've paid their deposit based on our previous work. So we know that we can do a good job, but we all experience imposter syndrome from time to time. And it's this particular reason that can lead a lot of people into debt and buying equipment that they simply don't need, or they should have really held off buying until they have secured the work to begin with. Now, I have three key factors that I consider when I'm buying new equipment. One is, will it make my work more efficient? Will I be able to do the job quicker, therefore time is money? Will I be able to save time? Number two is, will it improve the quality of my work? Will I be able to do that same job to a higher standard, therefore increasing the overall quality of the work I produce for my clients and therefore my portfolio and show reel? Now, those two things, generally you can find a way around that. Yes, the Ronin 4D will improve your quality of work. It will probably make you a little bit more efficient as well, perhaps. The same perhaps with the new Sony camera on offer too. The other thing is the third question. This is the one that everyone misses out, and this is the purpose of this video, is can I afford it right now? Does it leave me with enough of a buffer in the bank account that if I needed to invest in something else, or if I've got more expenses coming in, if I'm paying for rent for let's say a studio or a desk space or something like that, is the money in the bank account right now that I can afford to lose it and not capitalize on that money right now? If the answer to that is no, then fundamentally that takes precedence over everything else. You can very easily talk yourself into the first two questions, but the third one is very black and white. Do you have the money to pay for it right now? Have you guaranteed and secured the money coming in to pay for that object right now? If the answer to that is no, then wait. Wait until you secure the jobs first and then buy the latest equipment. Get the best clients first and then get the best equipment, is a saying that I love to follow. Now, having a big rig is sometimes important. I was speaking with someone who commented on a YouTube video recently, and they actually were saying that, you know, you can't land a £10,000 project and turn up with an iPhone. The clients expect a certain level of camera, and I completely agree with that there is truth to that. What you just need to do is you need to build your camera rig based on your income and what you currently can afford to do. So you might want to opt for a lesser Sony camera perhaps, or a different camera, and then build a rig around that, put a matte box on there, put a V-lock on the back, make the rig a lot bigger than it actually is. But I completely understand the purpose of having a bigger, higher end camera, something like we're filming on here, to then actually showcase it. Whereas if I turn up with a Blackmagic, yes, we know that is a very, very good camera, 6K quality, but it's not always what the clients are looking for. When they're spending thousands and thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars with you, they almost are looking for the big glossy cameras, the big things to show off. So is there a way that within your budgets at the moment, within the cash you've got secured, that you can make your rig seem a little bit bigger and that actually does improve on those factors? Still following, does it make your work better? Does it make it more efficient? Do you have the money to invest in that right now? I believe that when everyone started out as a videographer or in filmmaking, they started with a huge passion, and it wasn't about how much they were getting paid, nor it was about necessarily the latest equipment, but it was about being out in the elements, capturing things as it happened, and it was led by that creativity. Now, for most people, it was also a case of learning to make do with what you've got, and as a result, people were able to expand what is possible. There's an amazing video that I remember seeing before where someone creates a drone video with a camera on a long monopod, and they were able to get drone type images despite not having a drone. They were actually utilizing this particular method in a no-fly zone. And I think that that is just genius, because most people would be like, well, you know, we need to get the latest and greatest drone, without actually thinking what are the alternatives that perhaps fit better within your budget. As a result, it enables us to expand on what's actually possible, get more creative, and provide new solutions that result in breathtaking content. Now, I'm not suggesting for a moment that the new DJI Ronin 4D or the Sony A7iv, for that matter of fact, isn't a good investment. It might well be. I'm just asking filmmakers to consider whether or not they have the means to pay for it, so I can stop more people falling into the trap of putting it on a credit card, falling into debt without guaranteed work coming through the door. If you ask yourself the 3 questions I've taught you today, it will give you a good understanding of whether or not that you should buy it right now, in which case go ahead and do it. Or if the answers to those questions are no, then perhaps just hold fire. Just hold fire for a few more weeks, get that next project coming in that you know will pay for that new piece of tech. I hope you found this video useful. I'm certainly not giving the new devices any kind of bashing. I'm just trying to help people understand the value of profits over the latest products. If any of this has resonated with you, then please hit the subscribe button. Almost 80% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed, and it absolutely pains me because we're trying so hard to grow this community and provide pure actionable value to people who watch it. If you're looking for more valuable content, then I would definitely recommend this video right here. This is where I break down a meeting strategy so it can help you land more business, which will give you more money to then buy the things you want. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I reply to absolutely everyone. Until next time, peace.